Hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today's the 13th of January 2018, and I am coming to you from the office, which is now my studio, in my maintenance shop. And if you look in the background and you see it's kind of rough, it is kind of rough. This used to be a chick brooder, and that's why we built it. And then for a while we farrowed pigs in here when we only had a couple of sows. And then it sat for a long time, and then we made the milk house out of it. So we had the milk tank in here. But now it's just going to be the office and the tool room. So we're going to bring the majority of our tools in here. And it keeps them warm in the winter and keeps the sweat off them in the summertime. And it gives me a place to come and be not in the house when it's cold out, because it is cold out. And in the outer shop here, it's not heated. So I can go out there for a little while and work, but if I have to come in and warm up, I can. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I figured I'd knock this video out. And as I'm working, I'm thinking about stuff. And the last video I made was installment 2 on the return to rule of law. And this means something to me. And let me explain where I'm coming from, and maybe it'll dispel any of the notions that you have that I'm off my rocker. When I looked at the number of views on the video that I put up yesterday or the day before, it was number 2. There was like 214. And so you might be thinking, well, he thinks way too much about this because there's only 200 people looking at this. Who cares? It doesn't make any difference, Mark. It doesn't make any difference. Well, that's not true. And let me explain why it doesn't make any difference. You know, I've said to you before that it makes a difference for me to get out what I think, and the truth doesn't go out void and things like that, those kind of nebulous terms. But let me put it in a different way. There's a principle or an effect known as the domino effect. And it goes like this. If you have a domino that is 5 millimeters high, 2.5 millimeters wide, and 1 millimeter thick. Let's say you had a domino that was that size. When you knock it over, it has enough kinetic energy to knock over the second domino that would be 1.5 times the first one in size and weight. So if you project that out, by the time you get to the 29th domino, the 28th domino would have the energy to knock over the 29th, and the 29th would be the size of the Empire State Building. Okay? So that first little domino it's in every one of you. It's in every one of you. And the first stage of that is caring, is giving a damn about it. That's the first stage. And so there's, right now on that video that I put out the other day where I asked for input, there's 200 people that gave a damn enough to watch it. Now, whether they're people who want to see rule of law reestablished in our country, or they're people that are wanting to see, like, he's not gaining any traction yet, is he? Well, I already know I am. I already know I am because I give a damn, and then I enunciate it. I take the time to come in and sit down and do this. And yeah, it steps out of my comfort zone, and we've talked about fear and all that stuff. We're not going after a government. It's not like we're going after the government of Australia. We're going after individuals, and we're not really going after them. We're just sharing information about these individuals because you're going to be asked to make a decision when you go into the voting booth. And so that's all we're doing. And, you know, this is guaranteed under the First Amendment to the Constitution. And the First Amendment to the Constitution is so powerful, that there are people out there that will pay money to put filters on my YouTube account so that it only goes out to a small number of people, or the counter, you know, records that we're only a few people are seeing it. And I'm supposed to believe that, this doesn't make a difference, so heck with it, I won't do it. No, I'm not going to. For me personally, when I believe something and I think there's a fix on the problems that we have, I'm going to say it. And it becomes real obvious to me, the people who are not who they say they are. It becomes very obvious to me, the pretenders. All right, so the last video I put out, I said, all right, the battle, drain the swamp. Everybody's heard about draining the swamp. Let's think about it literally. We have a swamp, and let's say there's a plug someplace, and we can pull that plug. What do you want to drain out of that swamp? Just the water out of there? What? So I asked for input on that. What do you want to be drained out of the swamp? And so far I think there's 9 or 10 comments on it. And at lunch today, I was asking my wife if she could print them out. We couldn't figure out how to do it. We're not big technos, but what I'm going to do is when I discuss that, I'm going to go sit at the table and have her laptop computer there so I can read them off. And I want to make a point. I want to make a point with those answers to what do you want drained out of the swamp. All right. Okay, that's it. This is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm. Get back to you a little bit later. Thanks.